In this video, we do a review of the campgrounds at South Fork State Recreation Area in Nevada. Check it out. Hey guys, I'm Kevin with Camp Outside, your inside source for all things outside. In this video, we're going to do a review of the campgrounds at South Fork State Recreation Area near Spring Creek, Nevada. It's right on South Fork Reservoir. Guys, this place is awesome. I love it here. It gets hot, but it is beautiful. And hey, I caught a trout in this lake just today, so fantastic. I'm really enjoying it. Let's get right into the review. South Fork State Recreation Area is located in Spring Creek, Nevada. It's in northeastern Nevada between Reno and Salt Lake City. There's not much around, but it makes for an awesome place to explore. Let's take a look at the map of South Fork State Recreation Area. As you can see, it basically surrounds the South Fork Reservoir with campgrounds on both sides. We're going to take a look at both right now. Okay guys, as I said, there are two campgrounds in this state recreation area. The campground on the west side and the campground on the east side. Let's look at the east side first. The east campground is indicated by the red arrow on the map, and it is a really nice campground with a simple campground loop and nice sites overlooking the reservoir. Here's a look at the restroom in the east campground. The restroom facility is located in the center of the camping loop. Unfortunately, I don't have a campground map, but as you can see, it's a nice building. And then rather than male and female restrooms, it has individual restrooms for all genders, as you can see on the sign. So here is a look, and it's basically equipped with a sink and a commode and a mirror. You know, really simple restroom facility, but very nice, and it was pretty clean when we were there. Also in this building are shower rooms, and again, you know, just single individual showers, relatively handicapped accessible, and pretty nice and clean. Near the restroom is an amphitheater. Let's take a look. The amphitheater is right next to the restroom, and it's a pretty nice little amphitheater. It's got a fire pit with grill grate and benches for seating. Actually, it's got two fire pits. And then it's got a frame where you could hang a sheet or something if you wanted to have a presentation or a movie. And then not too far from the amphitheater is a horseshoe pit. So you can throw horseshoes if you're looking for something to do. Let's take a look at some standard campsites. The first example site we're going to take a look at is Site 20, which is a pull-through site, and it's right on the reservoir on the outer edge of the loop. As you can see, these campsites are wide open. There's no vegetation to block sight lines. You're going to see your neighbors, and they're going to see you, but there is a lot of space. So it's really nice. It's gravel. It's pretty level. There is the electric hookup. There's no water hookup, but there are spigots nearby where you can fill water bottles and that kind of thing. It's got a fire pit with grill grate. It's got a picnic table with a nice shade pavilion. Really nice campsite. Here is another example, and this is on the interior of the loop. This is Site 15, and it's an example of a back-end site to give you an idea. And so as we make our way in, you'll see it is a little uphill, so you'll have to do a little bit of work to level, but it's not bad. And again, you know, pretty wide open, you know, I guess typical Nevada is what I would expect. And then as you can see in here, it's got electric hookup. It's got a picnic table with like a shade pavilion. Again, no water hookup, no sewer hookup, but there is a spigot for filling. It's got a tent pad, fire pit with grill grate, a charcoal grill. That's Site 15. Let's take a look at the group campsites in the campground. Two of the sites in this campground are group sites. So we're going to start with Site 25. 25 has a long pull-through driveway, as you can see, as we make our way in. And as we make our way in, you know, off to the right there, you can see there's a nice little tent pad for setting up a tent. Next to that is the electric hookup. There is a water spigot behind, if you could see. Then it's got this nice shade pavilion with a couple of picnic tables, which is really nice. It's got a fire pit with grill grate on the back side. And then it's got a huge charcoal grill. As I make my way through, either extra parking or more places to pitch, tents or screen houses or whatever you want. Just an enormous group site. It's really, really nice. So that's a look at site 25. The other group site in this campground is site 1, and for some reason it was blocked off with that little cone when we were there. I don't know if they were doing any kind of site maintenance or anything. But as you can see, this is a back-end site, so it has its standard back-end site with the electric hookup. It's got a fire pit with grill grate and a picnic table. There's no pavilion over this picnic table because, as you can see, there's a big pavilion over here with 2 more picnic tables and a large charcoal grill. So that's great for a large group. Nice pavilion with lots of shade. And so this site is obviously different than the pull-through site of site 25, but it's still nice if you have a large group. There's some room to pitch tents if you need to. And then as I make my way out of the pavilion, you'll see over here is some extra parking. So again, if you have a group, you're going to need a little bit of extra space. And then of course there's some space behind the parking area for more tents and screen houses and whatever you like. But that's a look at the group sites in this campground. Let's take a drive-in tour. Alright, so we're coming up from the south on the main road as if we're coming from the west side of the reservoir to the east side. And so we're going to turn left here into the, main part of the east side of South Fork State Recreation Area. We're going to go past this little toll booth. There is a fee to use the reservoir. I think it's like $5 a day, but I'm not exactly sure. It was included with our camping reservation. So as we make our way in, off to the right there is a inspection station for watercraft, as well as the main office for the park. Off to the left is the dump station, so if you have full tanks that you need to dump, you can dump them there. And we're going to continue on this road till we get to the east campground. As you can see, this is a beautiful part of Nevada, and we had beautiful weather when we were there, just blue skies. It was super hot during the day, high 90s. But as soon as the sun went down, it cooled off beautifully, and we had fantastic evenings. Of course, if you have the ability to get on the water, that will help you stay cool. We did some swimming, we did some fishing, but it was pretty warm during the day. Okay, we're going to take a left into the campground area, and so this will be a loop. Off to the left there is a dumpster for trash. And as you can see, the road is a gravel road, but it was paved, or I should say graded really well. There's a hiking trail that you can go on. We just crossed over it. And then this is a one-way loop. There are 25 sites in this campground. The blue posts that you see every once in a while are water fill stations. So off to the right there is group camp number 1. To the left is site 2. Site 3 to the right. 4 to the left. That's site 5 to the right, 6 to the left, 7 to the right, 8 to the left, 9 to the right, 10 to the left, 11 to the right. $12 and $13. Site 14. $15 to the left, 16. $17 and $18. Off to the left there is the parking area for the restroom facility, for the amphitheater, for the horseshoe pit. I think that was 20 to the right. Some extra parking. And as we make our way down the hill, we'll pass the remaining sites in this campground. As you can see, people bring in their boats. Alright. As we pass the remaining sites, this last site, that's 24 to the left. This last site to the right there is site 25. That's the big group camp. And then we will take the exit out of the loop. And as you approach the intersection, if you go right, that'll take you out of the park. It'll take you to the dump station and to the office. If you go left, it'll take you up to different places along the reservoir, including the group camp, which is what we're going to hit next. But that's a driving tour of the East Campground. Just north of the East Campground is the group camp area. Check it out. So the group campground is just north of the East Campground, and it's indicated by the red arrow. And it's a nice little secluded spot if you have a big group. So we'll take a driving tour. So we just left the East Campground heading north on the road, and then we're going to turn left here onto this little gravel road. And you can see off to the left there is the main campground, crossing the hiking trail again. And we're heading towards the reservoir. And so this is a nice spot if you have a big group. You can put a couple of campers down here. It does have some picnic tables. It has a fire pit. But there's no restroom facility here. So if you need restroom facilities, if you don't have a camper that's got its own restroom facilities and that kind of thing, you'll either have to go into the East Campground to use the restroom facility there, or find a different restroom within the park. But as you can see, we've now made it, so it does have some trash barrels, and then it's just basically a big parking lot area on this cove. So there is the fire pit with grill grate in the middle of the lot, as well as some picnic tables. As you can see, there's no shade down here. So if you don't have awnings on your campers, or a screen house or some kind of pop-up or something, you're going to be baking in the sun. But it is right on this cove. So that's a look at the group camp area. And then we'll go back out the way we came, as it's one way in, one way out. But that's a look at the group camp. Okay guys, here is a look at the West Campground area, starting with the restrooms. So the west side campground is indicated by the red arrow, and it's quite a large campground, and it's located right on South Fork Reservoir. Let's take a look at the restrooms. So the restroom facilities are simple vault toilets. There's no running water, no shower houses, no flush toilets. Basically, the restrooms look like this, and there's a few of them over on the west side campground. So we'll take a look inside, and as you can see, it's just a vault toilet. Okay, and here is a driving tour of the West Campground. So as we make our way into the west side campground, you'll see there's another little check-in area fee station. And so we'll go past it. It was closed when I was filming this, but we're covered because we're staying over on the east side. And then we'll take this gravel road down to the campground area. There's also a boat ramp down here, and it looks like there's some watercraft rental. So you can get out on the water if you didn't bring your own watercraft. This campground is also a lot closer to the level of the water than on the east side. On the east side, you kind of have to hike down a hill to get to the water. So if you want to camp right on the water, this is definitely the side you want to be on. And a lot of people, when we were there, had their boat anchored, right off the campsite or beached. I wouldn't do much beaching as it's rocky, but hey, it's your boat, you can do what you want. But a lot of people had it tied off just offshore, so they could just swim up to their jet ski or swim up to their ski boat or whatever they wanted to do. So if I had hung a right there, that is the boat ramp. But we're going to hang a right here into the campground area. And so this connects to the boat ramp as well. You can see there's a truck and trailer there, so there's ample parking for your boat and trailer if you're not camping here. And then where those flags are, that's where I guess you can rent some watercraft for the day. And as you can see, these sites are just parallel to the road, right next to the reservoir. So those were some handicap sites, so they were paved. You can see someone fishing there, so it's pretty easy. There's the dumpster for trash. I filmed this right after a weekend, so weekends get a lot of use. There you can see another site with a tent. These sites are equipped with a picnic table and a fire pit with grow grate, a little pavilion for shade. I can't see the signs to tell me what sites these are, so I apologize for that, and I don't have a campground map, so I can't refer to it. But as you can see, I mean, these are the how these campsites are set up. There's one of the vault toilets to the left, and another dumpster for trash. Some of these sites have more space in between them than others, which is nice, but some of these sites are kind of right up on top of each other. And again, depending on what's happening over here, like on weekends when people have jet skis and ski boats and things like this, you can imagine this site is a little bit of a party atmosphere, so that might not be your scene. And while it's nice and calm today where you could fish right from your campsite, obviously if there's a lot of boats and jet skis running around, fishing is definitely going to be hampered. But as you can see, like, these two sites are right next to each other, and a dumpster for trash across the way. But you could obviously make this work, or if the party scene is the kind of scene for you, then maybe that might be something that you would want to do. I really kind of like those sites down on that point there, because that kind of gives you a little bit of privacy. It looks like we have to go around this little creek here. So we'll head out to the road, go around the creek, and then head back into the next section of the campground. So we'll hang a right here on the road. If we went left, that would take us out of this campground area. But the nice thing about this side is it's almost completely level, so you're not going to have any problem leveling an RV or a travel trailer. Alright, so we're going to head down into this loop, and this is the end of the campground. So you'll see there's a few more sites and a restroom facility, and then that will be it. So, you know, it might not be too bad if you got, you know, down here you'd have a few less people because there's a few less sites. As you can see, there's extra parking for boat trailers or trucks or whatever. You can see these guys are probably camping together, so they're kind of pulled in together. And then there's a couple more sites, as you can see, with picnic tables and fire pits with grill grates and a shade pavilion. Oh, and charcoal grills, by the way. These guys off to the left have the right idea, parking in the shade. Try to keep the temperature down in the vehicles. As you can see, there's another little launch area for like paddlecraft. More dumpsters for trash. And so as you can see, people are, just parallel parking their campers or, their RVs. So we're coming to the end of this campground. So I think that is it's either the last site or the second to last site. Maybe these up here are the last sites. Yeah, these are the last sites. There's a handicap site there. And then as you can see, another restroom in the distance. And that's a drive-in tour of the West Campground. Well guys, I hope you found that review useful. We really enjoyed our stay at South Fork State Recreation Area. As I said before, a couple of things to really keep in mind. The East Campground is a lot nicer. It has electric hookups and it has running water and shower houses. The West side is vault toilets and no hookups. So keep that in mind. Also, one thing that we really noticed was the west side is kind of a party zone, especially on the weekends. Everybody's got their ski boats over there and jet skis and that kind of thing. Whereas the East Campground is a little quieter. So depending on what atmosphere you want, you might want to choose one side or the other. So keep that in mind. Guys, this has been part of our 2024 summer trip where we're going all the way from our home in Tampa, Florida, out to the Olympic Peninsula in Washington and back. So we are now on our return trip. So we've done a whole bunch of campground reviews all across the country on this trip already, and we have a few more to go. So if you like this kind of content, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring that little bell that notifies you when we release new videos. Guys, we have a lot more coming from this trip. Our next stop is Dinosaur National Monument in Utah. Before we start heading home, we're also going to hit Black Canyon of the Gunnison and Great Sand Dunes National Parks in Colorado. So if you are interested in any of that stuff, make sure you follow along. And guys, if you have any questions about this campground, drop some in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Or you can connect with us on our other social media. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and X. Or you can connect with us at our website at campoutside.com. If you stayed here, also let us know what you thought of it in the comments. Guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.